Bring it down. Down. You tip your fingers or edge of frame.
I solemnly swear I'm going to lie to you for an hour. Oh, and everyone knows that, except for me. Yeah. But I'm not everyone. I'm different. Yeah. I'm Satan.
That's in there. That's your intro. Comes right into frame. I saw the
That's the one. It's done. Yeah, did you know that the back of your phone films in 4K, not the front of your phone?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
How would this tiny little camera on the front of your phone film in 4K?
How would your tiny little camera film in 4K? And I finally got it exported in 1080p. But it's probably filmed in like fucking 123 on the fucking front of it. You know what I mean? Spooky Sunday dinners. Spooky Sunday dinners. Spooky Sunday dinners. Still can't afford a theme song. I'm telling you that that's phenomenal. Like, you can't fuck this up. I'm gonna try though. Look, it's come to my attention. Some people are worried when I dance with this knife. And I've gotten a couple emails, DMs, calls from my mom asking if this knife is real. And to that I say, of course it's fucking real. Where's the fun in it being fake? But really, yes, this is a real knife. No, you shouldn't do it at home. Clearly, I need a lot of help in a lot of different areas, and this should really be the last thing you worry about. Hi, for those of you that don't know, my name is Johnny, and this is Spooky Sunday Dinners. Maybe I'll put it over here. I don't know. Camera update. Still don't have one. Editing update. Still doing it on my phone. So yes, this is Spooky Sunday Dinners, where every Sunday, maybe every other Sunday, maybe Monday, I also still really like Thursdays. We are going to be cooking a fairly easy dish while we talk about a true crime case that I really want to fucking talk about. This is week 3 of these, so if you're still here, why? No, but really, thank you so much for being here and doing this with me. I know it's weird, I know it's dark, I know it's creepy. I don't give a fuck. Clearly neither do you. Now, you know what time it is. I really fucking hate that I have to do this, but I have to do this. Disclaimer number 1. These are not professional recipes. I don't have the nutritional facts for any of these recipes, and they're not really for nutritional value. They're just what I feel like fucking cooking that night. I have told you for 3 weeks now, these are not professional. They are barely mediocre at this point. So, if you make this and you don't like it, or you fuck up and get sick, it's not my fault. Disclaimer number 2. This is called Spooky Sunday Dinners. Emphasis on the spooky. We're gonna be talking about spooky shit. True crime, murder, disease. It's gonna get dark, it's gonna get twisted, and it's gonna get weird. If you don't like hearing about that, don't fucking watch this. If me adding comedy into that offends you in any way, shape, or form, I don't fucking care. I make jokes about this kind of shit because I need some way to cope with the fact that my obsession is so fucking dark. So, Karen, now with that out of the way, you can't come for me. Now, I know the first thing you noticed when you clicked this video was how fucking awesome my shirt is. Special shout out to Ashley at The Golden Serpent. Her Etsy shop and her Instagram handle are going to be linked below in the description so you guys can get your hands on some of these. I'm telling you, they're fucking awesome. She makes affordable, spooky shit for people like you and me. Fucking true crime nerds. Spooks, if you will. Spooky motherfuckers. Now, this week we are talking about a true crime story that at first bored me to death. But then as soon as I really looked into it, this shit is fucking crazy. But you're gonna have to stick with me through it because trust me, It's fucking crazy. While we do that, we're actually just going to be making the easiest pasta you will ever make. Now, the original reason why I wanted to do these videos was not only to dump all of my true crime knowledge on you instead of doing it at parties, but to also create and show you recipes that are easy to make in quarantine. This recipe is not meant to blow your mind. It's not meant to change your life. It's just for when you're fucking hungry and need to eat. So, with that being said, this week we are going to talk about the Lululemon murder. You heard that right. Lululemon. Like the fucking leggings that hug you a little close, give you love handles, the jackets with the thumb holes. Now, this murder was the most boring thing in the world to me back when I first heard about it. But then I watched some YouTube videos, listened to some podcasts, and read a couple of articles about Lululemon that really fucking blew my mind. So before we get into that, I've got a large pot of water boiling on my stove, and I'm going to heavily salt it. Now, just imagine. The year is 2011. You're rocking your Wonder Unders, pretending like you even fucking know what core power is, and convincing your parents you needed a pair of $109 leggings. And you're not ready for the shit show that is the Lululemon murder. You are going to need pasta of your choice. I'm using penne. We really fucking like penne. A quarter of an onion, a whole zucchini, any canned pasta sauce of your choice. It really doesn't fucking matter. We're gonna doctor it. It's gonna be great. About a half a can of diced tomatoes. I just have them in my little reusable because I'm a reusable bitch. Any cheese of your choice. Today I'm gonna be using this really awesome Violife 100% vegan, just like Parmesan. I'm gonna be grating that into the sauce and also using my trusted dairy-free mozzarella shreds. The last thing that you are going to need for this recipe is just simply a half pound of impossible meat. Now, you can use any meat you like. You guys just know impossible meat for me, tried and true. Doug can't tell the difference, or at least he lies to me and says he can't. I'm going to be making this in my cast iron enamel pot. If you have one of these, I would highly recommend making your sauces in it. If not, any fucking pot will work. It's not a big deal. Our seasonings today are also super easy. We're going to be going in with some salt, pepper, garlic, as usual, Italian seasoning, and bay leaf. Now, while I prep these veggies, let's get into the craziest fucking shit you've ever heard. Now, 2011 is when this murder takes place. But to really understand the fucked up culture of Lululemon, we need to go a little bit farther back. I'm gonna have my notes readily available because this is some shit I needed to fucking write down. So the founder and former CEO of Lululemon, his name is Chip Wilson. I know, the name alone bothers me too. Maybe that's the counter to Karen, like Karen marries Chip. I don't know, who fucking knows. Anyway, dice your onion and then you're just gonna cut this into little quarter pieces. It's a zucchini. You can't fuck this up. Chip Wilson is a real fucking dick. Just to put into perspective how big of a dick this man is, he once told it was Canada's National Post Business magazine that really the only reason he named the company Lululemon was so he could make fun of Japanese people when they say it because it was funny to him. He also said things like he once believed that breast cancer came into prominence in the 1990s and said it was because, I'm reading a direct quote. He said it was because due to the number of cigarette-smoking power women who were on the pill and taking on the stress previously left to men in the working world. Chip, it sounds like some badass women are coming for your job. Now you guys can look up stories about how their leggings were see-through, and he tried to blame it on women not knowing their own sizes, saying that they didn't sell leggings to anyone over a size 12 because it was too expensive to make, or the time that they said their leggings had like were made of special seaweed, and all the vitamins and minerals from the seaweed would literally soak into your skin while you wore them. And then people were like, that's not a fucking thing. They tested them against cotton. Guess what? You bought some cotton leggings. Minerals. Our water is at a full boil. I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this penne in there. Now, I had always heard fucked up shit about Lululemon. I knew Chip was an asshole. I knew that their leggings were not meant for plus size women, and I stopped shopping there a long time ago, so I didn't really pay this any mind. But what really got me about this is just the fucked up Lululemon employee culture. I would highly recommend reading an article on the Huffington Post website written by Elizabeth Licorice. I'll try to link it below in the description because she really hits the nail on the fucking head with this one. Now, she really highlights the Lululemon employee lifestyle. Things like being judged by your coworker for having a soda at lunch, taking too much time on your water break, not exercising enough, or failing to throw or attend a kitchen party. Now, it took a little bit of research to even figure out what a fucking kitchen party was at Lululemon, but it's basically that weird kitchen island like table they have by the fitting room. It's when they gather around that and talk shit about how great they are versus everyone that comes into the store. I wanted to learn, why are they so hung up on this better than you lifestyle at Lululemon? What the fuck does it matter? People are gonna buy your leggings anyway. Well, that's when I found out that Lululemon employees are strongly encouraged and used to be forced to go to the Landmark Forum classes. That's right. We're going to take a little dip into the Landmark Forum educational series pool. Now, we're not going to super do a deep dive into this. I would highly suggest checking this shit out on your own. I went on their website, watched all of their videos, even went on to their sister companies, their boutique business building bullshit that they do, and I was truly fucked up after. Landmark Forum is this super secretive cult-like educational series that basically prides their students on being better than other people. They take a shit ton of your money because you can actually take part in owning the company. So you spend all of your time at these retreats and classes and all of your money to keep this company going. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Some people swear by it, but some people think that they're fucking crazy. They encourage you to have breakdowns while you're in their fucking meetings and just lose your shit in front of everybody. They keep you from going to the bathroom, getting water breaks, lunch breaks. It's just a whole lot of fucked upness that isn't needed. They base a lot of their team building and business plans off of groupthink. I know what you're thinking. Charles Manson. And Lululemon strongly encourages their employees to go. And after they no longer forced their employees to go, they would still pay for it if you wanted to go. Now, I don't know if they do that anymore. I couldn't really figure it out. I did try to message a few people from Lululemon that work there. I'm so sorry. Please unblock me. But as far as I can tell, I don't think they pay for it anymore. They do still strongly encourage it. They strongly encourage their book series, their CDs. I know, the elephant in the room. It's screaming Scientology, but I just thought it's best if I don't say that. So now that we know the real fucked upness of that employee culture and all of the stress and pressure they put on their employees to be better than, let's now go to 2011. So on March 12th, 2011, in Bethesda, Maryland, an employee goes to open the Lululemon store that morning. Now, she looks in and she sees that there's some racks that are over, like toppled over. It looks like some mannequins are over. They have a bunch of like random statues and display things that have been thrown on the ground. This kind of freaks her out because this is actually a very high-end area and a high-end mall, and she's just not ready to deal with that. Luckily, at this time, the new iPad was being released and people had been lined up for over 2 hours at the Apple store next door. A man sees that she's kind of freaking out. He's like, hey, what's up? She tells him what's going on, and he's like, that's okay. Unlock the store. I will go in with you and we'll check it out. They go in, looks like a robbery. Cash registers open, receipts are thrown everywhere, trash bins are just scattered across the floor, leggings everywhere. It's a fucking laundry disaster. Now, this poor man that was just trying to do a good deed continues to walk through the store. There's back hallways and rooms, and when he finally enters the back hallway and rooms, he walks into the most gruesome bloodbath. That is where he first sees the body of Jana Murray face down on the ground. Now, at this time, he can't tell who she is. Her body is so unrecognizable from the attack that he can only figure out it's a woman because she has long hair. She's face down in a pool of blood. He also finds her co-worker, Brittany Norwood, in a pool of her blood in a bathroom. She is zip-tied, her hands are zip-tied and above her head, her feet are zip-tied, she is covered in blood, and the crotch of her leggings is ripped open. Now that my timer so rudely interrupted me, the pasta's done and we really need to fucking get to work on this sauce. So I'm gonna take this and put it on a nice medium heat, throw some olive oil in there and let it get really hot. Now, obviously, they call the police and the police arrive there almost immediately to the scene. They see that Jana has been attacked with a wrench, a hammer, things that are found around the store, along with a mannequin stand, like the part of the mannequin stand that like goes into the back of the leg. It looks as though she's been attacked with all of those things. And the reason that it looks like this is because when they get there, the toolbox that those tools are normally in at the store is on top of her body. Now, Brittany is in the bathroom, and they originally thought she was dead because of the amount of blood around her. The man that goes in to see and finds her there sees her breathing faintly, and then the police come in. They go to check on her and kind of go to touch her, but like poke her, and she flinches pretty badly. They rush her to the hospital, and they obviously take Jana's body out of the store. Now, like I said, at the crime scene, they found all of the tools that were used, the toolbox that they were kept in. They found bloody footprints, 2 different sizes, like a women's size 5 or 6, they think, and then they're positive that it's a men's size 14. The reason that they're positive it's a men's size 14 is because this trail of shoes leads to a sink in the back, and the shoes are actually left there. So at this point, they're thinking this killer left his shoes at the scene because of the amount of blood on them, and then used one of the employees' sets of keys to get out of the back fire exit door. Their keys were found in that door, and there was no blood trail beyond the door. Now that this is hot enough with our oil, we're gonna go ahead and get our diced onion in there and just stir it around until it gets fragrant. Now, Jana is immediately taken to the hospital and her wounds are checked out. The crotch of her leggings was ripped, and she did state to the nurse that she had been raped. Now, they do immediately run a rape kit and start to assess her wounds. She's got an interesting shaped wound on the front of her forehead that does not need any stitches or really anything besides just cleaned up and a small bandage. The only other real wound she has is like right here on her hand, but also not bad enough for her to be taken into the hospital or for there to be really any stitches or anything like that to happen. Every other wound on her body was superficial. It was all like slashes and cuts besides the 2 on her forehead and hand. Now, I forgot to mention, as soon as that pasta is done, be sure to rinse it with cold water. Once our onion is nice and fragrant and starts to become transparent, we're gonna go in with a couple spoonfuls of garlic. Now, normally I use my trusted garlic powder, But today, I'm actually just gonna go for some minced garlic in a jar. You don't have this? It doesn't fucking matter. Use whatever garlic you like. Don't use garlic. Now, since Brittany's injuries weren't that bad, the police thought that it would be fine to immediately start questioning her because it was fresh in her mind and try to put together what happened that night. So, Brittany says that her and Jana closed and locked up the store as usual. Everything was fine and they headed home. Jana in her car and Brittany was headed to the metro. Now, as soon as Brittany got to the metro station, she realized that she forgot her metro card. She didn't have Jana's number, but she decided to call through a couple of co-workers to get her number, to get her to open the store so she could go in and get her metro card. Now, Jana was a bit higher up manager, so she had the keys. She answered the phone and was like, great, I forgot my computer there. I'll meet you at the store, I'll let you in, then we can leave. Now, once our garlic gets really fragrant, we're just gonna go ahead with that zucchini and dump it in here. After we dump the zucchini in, we're just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. Now, she says that Jana let them into the store. Everything was normal. They were looking around for their things in the dark. They were having a hard time finding them. They decided that they couldn't find them and it was time to leave. On their way out, they said that 2 men jumped out from behind clothing racks and attacked them. She claimed that a taller man went after Jana and a shorter man went after her. They separated them, but she did see the taller man strike Jana on the head and knock her down. The shorter man took Brittany into a room. This is what she's telling the police. He tortured her, raped her, called her racial slurs, and kept her away from Jana. She also said that during this time, Jana's screams were getting fewer and far between, and when she would scream, it was getting quieter and quieter. Now, she said that after Jana was dead, they went and threw her body on top of Jana's, then moved her into the bathroom where they zip-tied her and left her there while they escaped. Make sure as you're cooking this zucchini, you just continue to move it. A lot of movement with this garlic and onion is gonna make sure your shit doesn't burn. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's get to Jana's body. The autopsy showed that she had over 331 injuries to her body. Now, this did not include any repetitive injuries that happened while they were attacking her. Now, I want you to think about that. 331 wounds. Most of those were self-defense, but 200 alone were to just her face and neck. They can tell that there were at least 5 different weapons that were used, the same 5 that they saw at the scene of the crime. And what's really weird is that her body was also found with literal clumps of her own hair in her hands. Some theories suggest that she was grabbing onto her head and pulling out her hair while she was trying to block the attack from happening. Now, I just want to say that Jana is really close to my heart because she was actually a local dancer at this time. She loved salsa and tap, which are 2 styles I very much love. And this one hits a little close to home. A ton of dancers work at Lululemon, and if you don't know, I'm actually in the professional dance industry. So this shit pisses me the fuck off. Once your zucchini is getting just a little bit soft, you're gonna go in with that 1/2 pound of Impossible meat and just break it up and throw it in there. Once your Impossible meat is in there, we're gonna go in with a little bit more salt, pepper, and garlic powder this time. With all this information, the police decide that it's time to start checking security cameras in the area. The only fucking store at this place that has a security camera is that Apple store next door. Why don't you fucking have a security camera? Now, Brittany described that the 2 men that came in and attacked them were wearing all black. Well, lo and behold, guess what's on the fucking security camera? 2 men dressed in all black walking right past the Apple store, and they think into the Lululemon store, at the exact time they would have been there. The problem with this footage is there's no footage of the front door of Lululemon, so they can't fucking see if they went in, just that they walked past that store at just the right time. Obviously, since they think these two attackers are on the run, police release this footage on the news. It goes crazy. People in this area are fucking freaking out. This is like Haytoneville. This shit doesn't happen normally. The police also decide to start questioning potential witnesses, which would be the Apple Store employees. One woman at the Apple Store does say that she heard some shit that night. She heard two women screaming and yelling at each other. She also heard one of them tell the other one, "Oh God, please stop. We can talk about this. Oh God, please help me." Now, she told the security guard that she heard something going on in that store. So the security guard does abso-fucking-lutely nothing. He literally walks over, puts his fucking ear to the wall, hears two women screaming, something heavy being dragged, and shit toppling over everywhere. So you know what he does? He just fucking knocks on the wall. He just fucking LA apartments it. Just shut the fuck up. And guess what? They shut the fuck up. I swear. Somebody give this man a raise. Now wait, the police are also investigating everything that Brittany told them. Well, if Jana drove back, parked in front of the store to go into the store, where the fuck is her car? Now talk about fucking lucky. Another officer tells them, "Oh, that car with the Texas license plate. I saw it like three blocks back in a parking lot. The lights were on and there was somebody in it." So it's only been a couple of days at this point, and the officers think, well, we might as well just go check it. So they go to the parking lot that officer said it was at, and guess what? It's fucking there. They take that car in for testing and any evidence that might be in there. So at this point, the police decide to go with the only lead they had, which is those two guys on the video. One officer says, well, let's do a stakeout and see if they come back. Other officers are like, Bill, you're a fucking idiot. They're not going to come back. Well, guess what? They go to do the stakeout. The same two fucking guys walk in front of the Apple Store again. Well, guess what? They were fucking mall employees just getting off their shift at a restaurant. That was the route they took to go back where they both lived in the same direction in their all black waiter uniforms. Now, they have nothing. Some people in the area try to blame it on a local homeless man, but the police later decide that there's no way he could have done that to two women in there. So now they're back to square one. They're starting to realize that a lot of this shit is just not adding up with the story. The first thing they realize is that with Brittany's story, there was two victims and two attackers. But there was only two sets of footprints. Even if Jana was dead, wouldn't there at least be three sets of footprints with them forcing Brittany into the different areas? They also start to wonder who would know that that particular Lululemon had that toolkit with those weapons in it, and how would they know where to find it in the store? So that's when police go back to that first employee that walked in with the man and saw that the place had been robbed, and they start going over some details about the scene to see if she can put together anything for them or give them any hints or clues as to what's going on. One of the things that comes up are those shoes, those size 14 shoes that were covered in blood and left at the scene. They bring them up, ask, if there was any customers that had come in with that size, and the employee goes, well, wait, those shoes are property of Lululemon. Those were already in the store. Those were actually shoes that they either used on display or let customers try on with their clothing to see how the whole look turned out. Now, once our meat is almost fully cooked, we're going to go in with that whatever canned fucking spaghetti sauce you want to, and just throw it in there. Once that sauce is in, you're gonna go in with your half a can of diced tomato, put it right on top. We're gonna lower this heat to more of a medium low and start to season it. Now, the seasonings we're gonna use are the same salt, pepper, garlic. We're also going to add in some Italian seasoning and a bay leaf. Now, the one thing with this seasoning that we need to make sure of is when you think you're done, you're not fucking done. Seriously, guys, season your food. I don't have the time. So none of this is making sense to the police. The shoe thing is freaking them out. They ask the Apple employees one more time how many people they heard, and they say 2 women. Well, they also ask, hey, did you hear any of those racial slurs? And they go, no racial slurs. This is when the police also start thinking about the difference between Jayna and Brittany's wounds. Now, Brittany's wounds were all superficial. She didn't even need stitches or band-aids. She was in the hospital longer to be questioned than to be treated. Now, another really interesting part was that Brittany said her attacker, along with the racial slurs, also said that he knew her address, read it off to her, and that she was targeted. But how would they have known that they were going to go back to the store after closing, after they had already left? That's when the police decided to do a bit more digging into Brittany's history. Now, they find out that Brittany actually has a history of theft, ripping people off, lying, stalking, and obsessing over her ex-boyfriend and his current girlfriend to the point where a restraining order was put against her. And they found out that Brittany had actually been caught stealing from Lululemon multiple times. There was even a meeting about if they caught her doing it again, she was going to get fired. Now look, sometimes I'm a fucking idiot, and sometimes I forget stuff. Yes, Karen, I'm human. There's an optional 1/4 cup of pasta water that you can throw in this. I got distracted fucking talking to you and didn't do it. Is it going to make a difference in the end? Probably not. Should you maybe do it, try it, show me up? Sure. Now, at this time, all of the information regarding Jayna's car, Brittany's rape kit, and all of the medical stuff from her examination all come back to the police. This is when they decide it's time to question Brittany about what's going on. Now, before they bring Brittany in for questioning, she decides that she needs to run down to the police station and let them know one small detail that she left out. And that was, after they had killed her co-worker Jayna, the attackers told Brittany that she needed to go and move that car down 3 blocks and then come back to the store. Now, she said that they told her, if you see anyone, talk to anyone, do anything, we will kill you. So you're telling me your attacker told you to get in a car, drive that car 3 blocks away, and then walk back to them. And you did that. You didn't think the second you got in the car, all of a sudden your name turned to Brittany Andretti and you were going to speed the fuck away out of there? How are you going to kill me when I'm going 60 miles an hour? I don't know. I'm lost on that one. Just like I'm fucking lost on that, the police were lost on that. And they were like, sure, Jan. They bring Brittany in for questioning. And they're like, hey, so it's funny that you said you had been in Jayna's car before. Because earlier, before you came in, you said you had never been in the car. But now you're saying you've been in the car? Oh, yeah, I was in the car before anything happened to me. The police say, well, that's funny. Here's a hat with your blood on it we found in the car. They then ask her, can you explain to us how the cut on your hand got there? And She obviously said, yeah, I put my hands up and they cut me. The police said, well, that's kind of funny because that specific wound is from grabbing and holding onto a knife blade. Don't worry, I'm not going to fucking actually do it. They then ask her, hey, what about the wound on your head? She's like, yeah, that's from the shorter guy bashing me over the head. Well, that's funny, because if he would have bashed you over the head, why is your wound right here? I don't know how that could have happened. And the police are like, really? It wouldn't have happened from you going like this? They also say, hey, it's really funny that those zip ties you were tied with around your hands had teeth marks in them to tighten them. Also, wouldn't you have just put your arms down? They weren't attached to anything. You're just chilling with them up for like 6 hours. Lastly, they go, by the way, we also got your rape kit back. You know, the one that says you weren't raped. Now, yeah, I think you know where I'm going with this. But while we finish up the story, we're going to go ahead and throw our pasta that's already done into our sauce while it's finishing simmering on a super low heat. Now, Lululemon is a fucked up company that puts so much pressure on their employees, and clearly they're racially assholes, that it's normal for a young African American woman working in that industry who already has a history of mental health issues would crack under that pressure. But I bet you're wondering, so Johnny, tell me, what did she do? Now, it is believed, she doesn't really talk about it, but it is believed that Brittany lured Jana back into Lululemon. That is when she snapped and used any weapon she could to take her out. Now, I want you to imagine, well, don't be fucking weird and like actually imagine yourself doing it. But stabbing somebody over 331 times? Now, one stab per second would still equal what? Over a 5-minute attack? You can't stab somebody once a second. Stabbing somebody maybe once every like 3 seconds? What, 16, 17 minutes? I'm not a mathematician. I cook mediocre things. I tell you mediocre stories. I don't know where you thought that was going to happen. Now, she stabbed and mutilated this woman over and over and over again. The attack takes what? My best guess, 17 to 20 minutes. That happened at what? 11 o'clock at night? So from there, she takes her car, moves her car, comes back, fucks with herself, literally pools blood around her, zip ties herself, and just waits in the bathroom. I don't know how her arms didn't fall asleep. Now we have our pasta in there. We've turned the heat all the way off. We're going to take that grated Parmesan cheese and the mozzarella and just stir it in there till it's nice and thick and creamy. So 7 months later, Brittany goes to court. Now, do they go for an insanity plea? Of course. Do I think that she had some unrecognized mental health issues that were made worse by the fucked up Lululemon employee lifestyle? Abso-fucking-lutely. That's why we're here. That's literally why you've been here. For what, like 30 minutes? Now, it takes the jury a total of 30 minutes to deliberate, and she is obviously found guilty. She is sentenced to life without parole, and the hardest part of her throughout this whole process of being held in jail and being in jail, she says, was she couldn't get her hair and nails done. So I'm really curious. What do you think about this fucked up Lululemon culture? What do you think about Landmark Forum? Have you done Landmark Forum? I'm telling you guys, I really just want to fucking sign up for a class. I want to sign up for a class with my personality and just go up in there and be like, I'm sorry, I don't feel anything. You can't get me. That's fire. That is fire and foolproof. Now, I know I just keep adding shit, but honestly, when I film these guys, I just wing it. I do all the research, but as far as the cooking goes, what did you expect? But really what I'm adding isn't that crazy. Once we plate this in a large bowl, just take some fresh basil and sprinkle that bitch on top. Now our pasta is plated. I garnished with a little bit of that Parmesan cheese finely grated and a little bit of some fresh basil. I fucking told you that was going to be good. I told you that was going to be good, and I was right. That's why this is my show. But really, thank you guys for sticking with me. I know that one was a little bit weird, maybe a little boring, but a nice twist at the end. The pasta, simple as shit you'll ever make. I hope you enjoyed this week's spooky Sunday dinners, and maybe you won't shop at Lululemon anymore, because you know, groupthink, sexism, racism, being an asshole. Be sure to comment down below true crime stories you think we should talk about. It would also just be really fucking cool if you liked and subscribed. That'd be awesome. Thank you for watching Spooky Sunday Dinners. I am still singing. I still can't afford a theme song. Ooh, 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 ooh. Really, you guys shouldn't let me go to Spirit Halloween. Fuck, I went to Spirit Halloween for the first time this year, like last week. Maybe. I don't know. We already went over this. Time isn't real. But anyway, I walk in on a fine Tuesday afternoon when nobody else is going to be there because I'm not going to be caught catching COVID. And this nice couple walks in. Masks on, they use the hand sanitizer, and they walk to the back of the store. I don't really worry about it because I mind my own fucking business. I promise. It's good for you. So, I'm picking out some shirts, some severed limbs, you know, the norm. And apparently, they're picking out costume parts, clothes, I don't know. I didn't fucking care. Again, I mind my own business. But as I'm ready to go check out, guys, they fucking robbed the place. And when I tell you they were the laziest robbers of all time, they just had their masks on and all the shit they were gonna steal, and they just start walking out. Obviously, the employees are like, hey, stop, you can't fucking steal that shit. They don't say anything. They're just like slowly sauntering out of this fucking Spirit Halloween with their shit in their hands like they don't have a care in the world. I'm a little bit jealous. So naturally, the employees start fucking going after them. They try to tackle the guy, they're hitting each other, they're fighting, the girl's like elbowing them, all while not saying a word and being super chill. They're just fucking throwing hands silently. The employees finally just start like pulling whatever they can out of their hands. They explain later like they're just going for the most expensive stuff. And these people just fucking take what they can and continue to just slowly walk out of Spirit Halloween. This was like a few minutes ordeal. I was just standing there with my stuff, like, I'm with them. So yeah, I leave the house like one time in 4 months and get caught in the laziest Halloween robbery of all time. What is life?